I used to walk what felt like every single day, at least 10,000 steps a day, and I was not seeing any changes in my body. And it was only once I changed these 7 things that I finally started to see progress with my walking. And I'm going to share these with you. So if you are ready to get into the best shape of your life, actually start seeing changes with your walking routines, then make sure to like this video. And also, if you're new here, my name's Coco. I talk all things fitness, self development, and wellness. And I'm also a registered nurse, so you might as well subscribe and join the tribe. And I also want you to comment down below, what is your current walking routine like? How many steps do you usually get? Are you walking at all? I want to know, and we're going to make this happen together. So, one of the first things that was holding me back before I started doing these things is I would see walking as something that, okay, I need to get this walk in, be done with it for the day, and get it out of the way and just get over with, right? So, instead of looking at it as this like one and done, one time workout, I had to look at it as a lifestyle thing. Like, I had to start looking at life in steps essentially. So if I'm going to go to the post office, instead of driving there, I can walk and get steps in. If the elevator is down and while everyone else is waiting around, just hoping that the elevator comes back and starts working again, I'm like, this is the perfect opportunity to take the stairs and get some extra steps in. If I'm at the airport and the plane is delayed, instead of just sitting there, I will take that as an opportunity, like, let me go and walk around and get some steps in, or even just pacing back and forth in my house while I'm talking on the phone, just taking every opportunity, like, how can I work some steps in into my routine instead of thinking, okay, I need to go to the gym, I need to walk for 30 minutes, I need to get this done in this hour, like finding ways to incorporate it into my life and throughout my day. That is where I really started to see changes because I looked at everything as an opportunity to get steps, and I found the ways, like I was seeking ways to get extra steps in instead of thinking, oh my gosh, I need to find the closest parking spot. Now I'm like, okay, this is the perfect opportunity to get more steps in. I can park further away and I can get extra steps in, right? And then once I get in the store, what is the rush and trying to find everything in one spot? No, let me go, let me walk around the store, let me go down each aisle. He's taking every opportunity to get more steps in. And it has been such a game changer and looking for opportunities to get steps. And also it's just a win-win because I'm less frustrated with inconveniences and I look at them as opportunities to get more steps in. So that is one of the main ways that I was able to finally start seeing progress on my walking journey, is just literally looking at it, looking at life in steps instead of walking as just a one time, do it all at once thing, which can be very daunting and very overwhelming. The next thing, that when I wanted to truly see definition and my body, that's when I noticed that I needed to start doing strength training and incorporating that, but not saying that I need to be lifting like every single day the same way with walking, but just incorporating at least 2 days a week with strength training. And that is such a game changer because, again, muscle burns fat. So it just helped to expedite my fitness goals and help me to start seeing definition, help me with my fitness goals to really start seeing the progress that I wanted to see by incorporating strength training. And just with simple compound movement, like I'm not going lifting crazy weights, but just consistently going and it's doing compound movements like RDLs, doing reverse lunges, doing leg day, then also doing arms. But again, not lifting crazy heavy, just something that's challenging enough for me and making sure that I'm having the proper form as well when I lift, but just making sure that it's challenging enough, but not where it is completely exhausting me or I'm sacrificing my proper form. So the combination of walking with strength training is like chef's kiss. So that is something I think for the longest time I used to think like, oh, well, is it necessary to do strength training? Do I have to do that? But there's so many benefits to strength training in general. It's just something that for longevity, to build muscle, for strength, it just helps our body. We use our muscles for everything in life. So it's just a win-win overall. So that was another thing that I feel like was halting my progress, and it made it a lot easier on my walking journey going forward once I started incorporating strength training as well, because the combination is elite. And the next reason why walking was not working for me for the longest time is that I had the wrong mindset. My mindset, I was looking at walking like it was a chore. It was like, I'm dreading having to go walk. Like, okay, I'm just trying to get this walking done. Like, how long is it going to take? Is it going to take 2 months, 3 months? Like, I just need to know. That's all I want to know. And I want to get it done and be done with it. Right. So that was the wrong mindset going in. And that was something that was definitely holding me back on my journey because I was just trying to get it over with. I was trying to meet this goal of losing weight and then just be done with it after that. Like, I had no intention of incorporating this into my lifestyle. So once I finally changed my mindset and realized that walking is something that I should be doing for the rest of my life, like even once I reach my fitness goals, this is something that should be a part of my daily routine. Like, there's no reason I should be wanting to sit down all day long and only do this walking routine for like 2 months, 3 months, and then be done with it. And having that mindset that it is just for 1 or 2 months and just to be done with it after that was something that made it dreadful. It was something that made it something that I just was doing just to get it out the way. I was doing just to reach the short-term goal and be done. And so because of that, it was not something I looked forward to. It made it that much harder to do and make a part of my routine. But once I realized that this was something that I was going to incorporate as a part of my daily routine for life, getting up in the morning, waking up and walking, or just incorporating it throughout my day for the rest of my life, that is when I started to look at it differently and I stopped dreading it as much and I started to embrace it. So that is when I just truly just switching my mindset made such a huge difference because now I was able to look forward to it. I was able to be realistic with it and not just feel like, okay, I just need to get this done. I need to lose this weight. And, it's a means to an end versus like this is going to be a lifestyle change. And that's when I started to embrace it and look forward to it and incorporate it into my life. And once I did that, it just became a lot easier and I was able to be more consistent. And then once I was able to be more consistent, that is when I truly started to see changes and was able to start to reach my fitness goals. And the next reason why I was not seeing changes for the longest time was because I was not making my walks enjoyable. So I had to start finding ways to enjoy my walks and really look forward to them. And so some of the things that I would do instead of just looking at it as like, okay, I'm just going to go for a walk, is I started pairing it with things that were enjoyable. So I would, if there was a podcast that I was looking forward to listening to, I would save that podcast for when I go on my walk. So that would be something that I look forward to. It'd be like, okay, I can't wait to listen to this podcast and I know I'm going to do it on my walk. So now I can't wait to go on my walk, right? Or say like I want to catch up with a friend. I know I need to call a friend back to catch up and I know that we stay on the phone and yap for a really long time. Then instead of thinking, okay, I'm going to call this friend and lay on the couch and just lounge while I talk to my friend, instead, I can go for my walk and talk to my friend during that time. So now I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to catch up with my friend and I can't wait to go on this walk because that is when I get to do it. Even with music, if there's like a new album that I haven't heard, like making a new playlist, that is something that's exciting as well. It's like, oh my gosh, I have the best playlist. This is a new one that I created and I can't wait to listen to it on this walk. Or there's a new album that came out. I'm like, this is perfect. I get to go listen to this album. And instead of looking at my walks as just this boring, mundane thing, instead it's like I'm pairing it with listening to my favorite podcast, this new episode. And now I get to really enjoy the walk because it's like a win-win. I get to listen to my favorite podcast or catch up with my close friend or family while I'm on my walk. So again, it also makes the walks go by so much faster. I don't even realize that I'm just like almost done with my walk. I've been walking for an hour or over an hour because I just have been having such a great conversation or the podcast was just that amazing where it's like, how am I already an hour into my walk? And that's just because it passes the time so much easier. I'm not like thinking like, okay, how much longer do I have on this walk? Instead, I'm like fully engulfed into the music I'm listening to, or I'm fully engulfed into the podcast or the conversation that I'm having. So that was another thing, just making it something that I look forward to and making it easier to look forward to by saving certain things for the walk. So that's one of my best tips is just like find something you can save it for, even if it's a TV show on Netflix or something like that, where you're like, okay, I'm going to save this episode because we all know how long a lot of these podcast episodes are. It's the perfect time to listen and watch them during a walk. And the next reason why I was not seeing any progress with my walks for the longest time is that I was not tracking my steps. So it's easy to think, okay, like I walked a bunch today, I was walking everywhere. I went to the gym and I was on the treadmill and I walked and I must have 10,000 steps. And just guesstimating how many steps I had doing that, a lot of times I felt like, oh no, I definitely got at least 10,000 steps. But it was only until I started wearing my Apple Watch, whether it's an Apple Watch or any type of fitness tracker where it's actually tracking how many steps you're getting. That's something that was really important as far as my journey. Like a lot of times I just wear it at the gym or I didn't have one at all. So there was no way for me to accurately track how many steps I was getting. And once I started tracking my steps, that's when I saw that I was not getting nearly as many steps as I thought. And also, it's easy to think like, okay, if I walk for like 45 minutes, I should have met the step goal that I have for the day. But a lot of times it depends on the pace we're going. Like if I'm walking extremely slow, but walking for 30 minutes or an hour, that may not give me the 10,000 steps, right? And so the pace matters. So if I'm not tracking that, then it's easy to overestimate how many steps I'm actually getting. So I had to start tracking my steps and really get accurate with how many steps I was getting. And once I did that, that's when I was able to gauge, after that, if I was getting 10,000 steps or not. And I was able to accurately start to get on track with my goals. And then wearing it just throughout the day versus like just on a dedicated walk also helps to see like how little steps add up, right? If I'm going to walk to the coffee shop or I'm going to the post office, just having my watch on me throughout the day, even if I'm doing chores around the house or I'm cleaning, picking things up, those steps add up as well. And so, again, that helps me to be more conscientious like, okay, maybe I can't get to the actual gym or get to an actual park to walk, but just it helps me to be more conscious of ways to get steps in and movement and get closer to my goals because there's so many different ways to get steps. So it also becomes encouraging, like, wow, like yeah, let me go downstairs. Or like if you have to go back and forth, it's not as annoying, like the thought of it, but instead it's like, this is another opportunity for me to get steps. And it's really encouraging to know that, like, okay, even though I didn't go on an active walk today or go to the park or go to the gym, like I just accumulated a lot of steps just by running errands, walking around, doing chores, things like that. So tracking my steps became such a good indicator and reminder and keeping me on track with my goals for reaching my steps. And it was able to really help me amp it up because a lot of times I thought I was getting 10,000 steps, but I was getting nowhere near that. The next thing that was holding me back with seeing progress with my walking journey, I was overeating because I was thinking I'll just walk it off, right? So I was going out to eat all the time, like going out to restaurants, trying new foods, trying new places, bakeries, and going out to eat, getting pizza, burgers, things like that. And my mindset was, I can eat whatever I want because I'm just right. I'm like, walk it off. I do my 10,000 steps a day now. I can just eat whatever I want, whenever I want, whenever I want. I'm still gonna see progress. I'm still gonna see progress. No, that was not the case whatsoever. And I had to really hone in with my eating and realize, like, just because I was getting steps in did not mean that I can eat anything under the sun and whatever I wanted. And a lot of times with going out to eat, that was not the case whatsoever. And I had to really hone in with my eating and realize, like, just because I was getting steps in did not mean that I can eat anything under the sun and whatever I wanted. And a lot of times with going out to eat, we have no idea what they're putting in the food, how much sodium, how much sugar, how much butter. Like there's no way to measure that. So a lot of times we think like, oh, I didn't even eat that bad. I just had a burger or I just had some wings. Between the sauces and the sugars and the sodium, all of that, it really can add up. And to think that, okay, I could just eat this, it doesn't really matter because I'm going to go walk it off, is like a huge overestimation to think that the walk will just cover any and everything that we ate. So I had to stop looking at food as though like, okay, I'll eat this and I'll just go walk it off, like, because it's not that simple. And I had to start being more intentional with my eating and being more cognizant and of what's going into my body, not thinking, okay, I could just burn it off. Because one, I have no idea how many calories and things are actually in what it is that I'm eating, especially when I'm eating out. But also, it's just like a kind of toxic way to look at, like, okay, I'm just going to eat whatever I want and then burn it off, instead of eating intentionally, eating healthier quality foods and vegetables and fruits and whole foods, and knowing that I'm fueling my body in a positive way and I don't need to go burn it off. Like, I'm just living in an overall healthy lifestyle where I eat lots of fruits and vegetables and protein and whole foods, and I'm nourishing my body, and I'm not just putting any and everything into it and junk and then I'll go walk it off. But instead, I'm leading a healthy lifestyle to where I'm eating healthy and nutritious foods, and I'm thanking my body, and I'm treating my body in a great way. And all the things like walking, eating healthy, drinking water just contribute to me feeling better, looking better, and overall just treating myself better. I think it just was such a toxic way to, like, oh yeah, I'll put whatever in my body and I don't care how it makes me feel because I'll go walk it off later. So it just was changing my mindset from thinking, oh, I'll eat anything and everything and I'll just walk it off. But instead, no, walking is not a punishment and something that's just going to fix all the crazy things that I did, but instead just making better and healthier decisions overall. And the next thing that I had to do, because before was I was not seeing changes, was I was just doing the same type of walks, the same speed, the same incline, everything, and expecting to be able to do that forever and still see changes. So, of course, initially for me, because I was so sedentary, always sitting, just getting the 10,000 steps in itself was a lot. And I think for anyone, if you're like me, where you're barely getting any steps, that will be a big change to your body, where you'll definitely see changes just from simply incorporating more steps. But once I started incorporating more steps and my body became accustomed to that activity level, is where I needed to start switching up my routine even more, because my body was starting to adapt and then plateau because it was getting used to that amount of steps. So instead of just getting 10,000 steps, that's when I started incorporating, like, trying to go up some hills and trying to go on an incline a little bit instead, and just challenging my body a little more. And also perhaps picking up the pace and going a little faster instead of just going, the same pace, but just kind of shocking my body a little bit, especially as I got further into my journey with walking. So let me know which of these resonate with you the most down in the comments, and also make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and I can't wait to see you in the next video.